Hello friends. In this video I'm going to cover some quote-unquote cold-tolerant tropical uh, fruit trees and shrubs, and this allows us in Central and North Florida to sort of join with the rest of our fellow Floridians that are further south, and they're growing things like mangoes and bananas. You know, it's really too cold. I'm going to say north of Orlando and further north. It's really too cold for a lot of the tropicals, but we're so close. But we can get in on the fun and grow some tropicals too. But that's what this video is for, is to point out several tropicals that are more cold tolerant than a lot of the rest of them. And we can get in on some of that tropical action ourselves. Let's start with this one. This is pineapple guava. It's really highly cold tolerant. I mean, really, it is a guava, but is it really a tropical plant? It's really a warm, temperate type plant. Actually, very highly drought tolerant as well as cold tolerant. It's really good, actually, for our area. So let's keep going here. Loquat is another one sort of like that. The fruit certainly tastes like a nice tropical fruit. I love loquat fruits. They're just delicious. And these trees are highly cold tolerant and do quite well in Central and North Florida. Arguably, they do better in our region than they do further south. Okay, let's keep going. Just going to point out some of the more cold tolerant tropicals. And next we have the wonderful avocado tree. Actually, I'm passing a good one right there, but let's go ahead and talk about avocado. So there are many cold tolerant avocados. They're generally the Mexican type avocado, and this is one of them. It's Brogdon. I've already had a pretty good frost here, a couple of them, and they did fine. They didn't even get any burned leaves out of that. And this is a winter Mexican, another really nice cold tolerant avocado. So if you want to grow avocados in North and Central Florida, I highly recommend just checking what kind of avocado you might be thinking about purchasing, and making sure that the cold tolerance of that tree is going to work for our area before you waste your money on something that's going to freeze, like I did with my Russell avocado. I'm afraid we'll find out what happens with it. This is a plant called Cherry of the Rio Grande. It does come from Brazil, so it seems kind of tropical. Honestly though, this tree is cold tolerant right down into the lower 20s. And it's really from a mountainous region of Brazil, so it's not really tropical. But it is from Brazil, so it seems exotic and tropical to us anyway. Let's keep going here. We've got a couple of more good ones. One is Suriname cherry. Once the Suriname cherry tree is established, it's pretty cold tolerant. When they're really young, like this one, not so much. So my fingers are crossed. We'll see how good this one does this winter. But Suriname cherry, once they get mature, they can be tolerant all the way down into the lower 20s. Here's another one that I'm going to try for the first time. I have it in the greenhouse for now. I'll be putting it in the ground in the spring, and this is white sapote. This is the Redlands cultivar of white sapote, another tropical fruit tree that's supposedly cold tolerant down into the lower 20s. I might have pretty much touched on all of them. Let me just take a quick look around and see if there's anything I left out. And by the way, this is that the other avocado, the Russell avocado, and you can see it did get burned by the frost. Some of the leaves got, so yeah, it's reportedly less cold tolerant than my other more cold tolerant avocados, and what I'm seeing based on the leaf damage is that is indeed the case. So yeah, I've got a lot of loquats all around my garden. I mean, I say a lot. I've got 4 of them, I believe, and they and along with these others, and there's another cherry of the Rio Grande, and then some of these others. So even if we do get kind of cold and it kills things like my papaya and chaya and moringa, you know, it already pretty much wiped out my bananas. So even if it does a lot of damage to those tropical plants, hopefully some of these cold tolerant tropical plants will be able to pull through, and I can get in on the fun. These pineapples are not that cold tolerant, so we'll have to see what happens with them. They're pretty tropical, but I do have them tucked in up against the south side of the house, so they might be okay. But yeah, we're so close to everybody south of us that are growing lots of tropical. One thing I can say about the papaya, it grows so fast. This was just a little bitty 2-foot tall tree a few months ago, and now it's what, 12, 13 feet tall and loaded with fruit, and we've already harvested half a dozen fruits off this tree, and I'm gonna take another one today. So even though it's not very cold tolerant, it grows so fast and produces so fast that you could grow it like an annual and probably get some food out of it. This is a Florida native, Simpson stopper, and it's also somewhat cold tolerant. It's not super cold tolerant, so it's really central. I don't know if it's actually good for North Florida, but in Central Florida, you possibly can get Simpson stoppers to grow pretty well and handle our cold weather. Okay, so that's about it. That's several species of quote-unquote tropical plants that are more cold tolerant than many others. All right, that's it, y'all. Take care and happy gardening.